Let me say this slow, because I need it to land in your chest, not just in your ears. The law got signed. The cameras flashed. The politicians smiled for their little victory lap. But the real question ain't if the Epstein files get released. The real question is, will the truth survive the system that's been protecting power for decades? Because when survivors have to beg the government for transparency, when women who were children at the time still gotta fight for the dignity in their adulthood, that don't look like justice to me. That looks like a system negotiating with being accountable. And see, this ain't just about Epstein. This is about whether America still has a conscience, whether pain gets respected or repackaged for politics. So let's walk through this carefully, clip by clip, word by word, because the difference between the truth and performance, it just lives in the details.
Morning, 10 survivors wrote, quote, "We now call on the Department of Justice to uphold its obligation to us, the survivors, as well as the American people. Do the right thing. Do not withhold information. Do not use pretexts to evade accountability. Do not rely on loopholes. Release the truth."
Listen how they speak, not with anger, not with vengeance, but with clarity. Do not hide behind loopholes. Release the truth. That's not a political statement. That's a pain manifesto. These aren't people chasing headlines. These are humans reclaiming their humanity. And the fact that they still gotta plead for the government to do what's morally obvious, that should make everybody in America uncomfortable. Because when survivors gotta instruct the system on morality, the system already failed. And see, what bothers me in this is the fact that the government keeps talking about process while survivors are talking about healing. One speaks policy, the other one speaks terrible, uncomfortable, traumatic memories. And here's the real uncomfortable truth. Truth delayed is truth denied. Every loophole is just another brick in the wall protecting those powerful petties. And every redaction without explanation feels like another door slammed right in their face. This ain't about revenge. This is about restoration. This is about seeing if America has the courage to look itself in the mirror without editing its reflection.
We will continue to follow the law with maximum transparency while protecting victims.
Of course, we're going to protect victims, and the law as written allows us to do that. You know, the law has carve-outs to protect victims and to protect information surrounding victims.
I wonder if you're worried with the release of these files. We hear that phrase a lot. We want to protect the victims. But are you worried that will be used as an excuse not to put out information that you think rightfully belongs in the public domain and that you want to be able to see?
I do. Yeah, we are very fearful of that, to be honest. I think we are fearful that it'll be heavily redacted. I think that, we know our stories. So I think when we have all of the files and we have full transparency, many of us will be looking through the files ourselves and making sure that our stories are correct.
Now hear that phrase again. Maximum transparency. Sounds clean. Sounds responsible. Sounds like something you put on a government brochure. But in real life, that phrase usually means, we'll give you what's convenient, but not what's uncomfortable. History has shown us something really clear. The system don't protect survivors first. They protect their own reflection, reputation before repair, image before integrity. And that's why when these survivors say they're scared of these heavy redactions, that ain't mistrust, that's a pattern. And they are recognizing it. That's wisdom built from the disappointment that they have had for years and years. See, when the same system that failed to stop the abuse is also responsible for deciding what we get to know about that abuse, that's like asking a locked door to testify about the break-in. Transparency without people being accountable is just theater, and theater will not heal anyone. Because if the truth only comes through filtered with this mumbo jumbo sanitized by politics, then the survivors will carry this weight while the powerful stay protected by paperwork and bullshit.
And I think that, survivors are I would say, like, cautiously victorious at this point. I think it's really hard to feel the power of this moment fully because it just feels like it's been undermined completely by the political divisiveness. And that is something that we have worked so hard to try to keep this nonpartisan, to try to keep this very human, because they are our stories. We've said that so many times. And yet at every turn, I think that the president is just completely missing the point, which doesn't give us a lot of hope, to be honest. So for accountability, we are really looking for the same level of accountability that we have seen in the UK. We really want, scholarship funds and the statues and monuments that have been dedicated to people who have done wrong it all just needs to come down if it needs to,
Cautiously victorious. That's a heavy phrase. That's like saying you won a battle but still scared the war ain't over. Imagine fighting for decades just to feel unsure about celebrating the progress. That's happened before. She's telling you straight up, this moment is supposed to be about healing, but politics then hijacked the joy. That's emotional robbery. You stole the victory from the victims and turned it into a campaign talking point. This just ain't about the files no more. It's about dignity. It's about allowing these survivors a moment of peace without this strategic spin and bullshit attached to it. When a survivor can't even celebrate progress because the politicians have weaponized the narrative, that's another form of violence. It's just quieter, but still harmful. And when she says the president's missing the point, she ain't talking party lines. She's talking empathy lines, humanity lines. A system politicizes pain, eventually numbs the nation to suffering. And that's how injustice keeps breathing.
Yeah, I think survivors have long been sort of siloed. I know for a long time I lived sort of in my own shame and couldn't step forward at all. It was Virginia Giuffre, Maria Farmer, Annie Farmer who really led the way for me to be able to really step out there and face my demons. And now having the support of others, and every time we come together, it is a new experience with new faces, and it's just the sistership is something that it really has changed what womanhood means for me. Another thing is Lauren Hirsch, which you will hear from next at World Without Exploitation, has been instrumental in giving us very safe spaces to be able to have amazing conversations where all of a sudden we're starting to realize we're not alone. And it is amazing to have women boosting each other up and constantly passing the torch to one another and playing off of each other's strengths, which is what we hope to do more of. Hopefully one day maybe we'll have a coalition. I don't know where it goes from here completely yet, but I know that we're in this together, and that's the most important part.
This part right here, this is where the real power lives. Not in courtrooms, not in microphones, but in connection, in community, in shared healing. She lived in silence, in shame, in isolation, and now she's standing in sisterhood, in strength, in recognition. The transformation didn't come from the policy. It came from her courage. And when broken people come together and rebuild each other, that's a revolution without violence. That's restoration in motion. The system might control the documents, but these women have reclaimed their narrative, and that might be the most powerful justice of all. What we're missing ain't just politics. It's a moral trial. Survivors demanding truth, institutions managing optics, and powerful people hoping time washes that shit all away. But here's what they don't understand. Trauma remembers, and the truth don't die quiet. So we're going to stay present. We're going to stay aware, and we're going to stay holding everybody in power accountable, because silence is agreement, and we ain't agreeing with none of this. And if this moment made you feel something, let it move you into awareness. Let it sharpen your understanding. Let it remind you that real change starts when people start looking away. Drop your thoughts, share your perspectives, and tell me this. Do you believe the truth will really come out? I don't know. I really don't think so. This is hood politics, and it is what it is, man. So make sure you get back and get with us, man. Like, share, comment below. Let us know how you feel. Talk about it in the comments. And make sure you subscribe and come back for more. Hood politics. We out.